Hello, welcome. Today is an exciting day because one of you, Pauline, who has been following Logical Harmony for a very long time, asked if I would weigh in on some of her questions about getting her new home filming space kind of up and running. And so we talked about lighting, we talked about microphones, we talked about a lot of things. So if you are thinking about getting started in YouTube, or if you're already doing it and you want to set up kind of a home setup, then you might have some similar questions that she had. She's super, super sweet. I will link to her accounts on, in the description, so you can go check out her work and see what she's working with. And the kind of content that she puts out. We had a great conversation. So thank you, Pauline, and enjoy the video. You have a new space, a filming space.
Yeah, I have like this room.
Yeah.
That's basically gonna be where I store my makeup and where I film.
Cool. Awesome.
We also have the computer.
Uh-huh.
So, as you can see, the window's behind me.
Yeah.
So, I don't want the computer to be in the background.
Got it. Okay.
Because, I don't think that's particularly great as a background, and there's always a bunch of crap that stays on the desk.
Sure.
Which is also not what I want in the back.
Yeah.
So, the way the desk is going to be is that I'm going to have natural light on my right side.
Okay. So can you show me the space now so I can see?
Yeah. So I'm by the door right now. So that's the desk where I was just sitting.
Got it.
That's those like shelves. I store my makeup in there.
Okay.
And then we have a nice big window.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to really be using it.
Okay.
And here I have a closet.
Sure.
So what I have in mind is putting another desk here. It's coming sometime today.
Okay.
So I'm going to be sitting there, facing the camera there. That's why the
okay.
camera is still there.
Sure.
So you can kind of see better.
Perfect.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. So what were your questions for me? How can I help?
Well, I wanted to, because you know a lot more about lights
and
mics and all that. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need light. I filmed one video. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. Which looks like for the lighting situation. It's not that bad, but you can definitely tell that the window is on that side. Because that side of my face is obviously a bit darker.
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but...
Was your window totally open?
Yeah, because we don't have blinds or anything at the moment.
Okay. And did you have another light there? Because the lighting looked pretty decent.
No, that was just a window.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay, but you want to get lights.
Yeah.
Okay. What budget... you have a camera already?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a camera, so basically you need a mic and lights.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you wanted?
Well, I see lots of different types of lights. Mm-hmm. Ideally, I don't want something that's too bulky, because once I have the desk, I have things in that closet that I would like to still be able to access somewhat easily.
Yeah, totally.
And the computer's in this room for now. I don't know if it's going to stay here or it's going to go in another one, but my husband also uses the computer.
Okay.
So, and I don't like clutter. So I feel like if I have lights that are too bulky, it's going to kind of annoy me.
Sure.
So yeah, like what type of light is good, and also like mic situation, because you can hear my camera focus basically when I film.
Yeah.
And that's really annoying. Like when I edit my videos, it really annoys me.
Sure.
And I'm sure it's when you watch, it's also kind of annoying to hear that like clicking sound.
Is your husband usually there when you film? Like, is your husband usually home when you film? Okay.
No, that's why I use the autofocus.
Yeah.
Well, as you notice, I'm wearing glasses, but not when I film, so I can't tell if it's out of focus.
Oh, okay.
My glasses.
Got it.
And well, he works during the day anyway, and I'm weird when someone's in a room and I'm trying to film.
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking...
I'm not as excited about it somehow.
Sure, yeah. I was thinking one solution might be similar to what Tashina and I do, which is, well, not similar, it's exactly what we do, which is I just come in and focus the camera, and then I leave.
Okay.
But that would obviously require him being there, unless your lens, because like our lens is not, it's not like a physical, like mechanical focus, right? So like if you turn off the camera and turn it back on, it's not going to still be in focus in the same point. As where I have other lenses that do work that way, we just don't use them for this camera.
Okay.
So if your lens will go out of focus every time you turn it off, then maybe a solution might be to consider, even just like on a weekend, one time, try it, having him focus it, and then telling him to get out so you can be normal, you know?
I mean, he works from home, so
Oh, okay.
I can, like, unless he's in a meeting when I'm trying to film, he can just come in for a minute and
cool.
focus it.
So that might be something worth looking into. And then another thing is we have this, you can't really see it because it's, well, I'll just show you. We have this shutter remote here. This room's a mess. Don't judge us.
It's fine.
And that way, Tashina can stay seated and start and stop recording. Like once it's focused and I'm out of the room, she doesn't need to keep having me come back in to start and stop recording, or, get up and start and stop recording. So that might be another like useful tool. I think you can find them for pretty cheap. I want to say I have an extra one, but I actually think that it's specific to the camera. I don't think you can just swap them. I think you have to buy the specific one. Okay, and then for lighting in your microphone, what's like your all-in ideal budget?
Not too much.
Okay.
Like as low as possible.
Sure. That's
still being something that is not gonna die in like 3 months.
Right. Okay.
I know typically when it's cheap, it's not that great and it's not gonna last me forever, but because I can't work at the moment because of my situation.
Okay.
And I don't want to like ask my husband like, oh, can you buy me stuff? And because I feel uncomfortable doing that. He probably doesn't give a shit, but
sure.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Okay.
So yeah.
If you want to keep things as absolutely low as possible, I would say don't worry about buying a light right now.
Okay.
I would say basically just get like a thin, like a white sheet to hang up over your window so that it's still letting a lot of light in, but it's not, it's not so harsh and such a big contrast from the other side of your face.
The good thing is that that's north,
and
there's a house right there, so I'm never gonna have like bright sun.
Okay.
Shining through that window, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and if you just diffuse it, then there won't be so much, where you look overexposed here, or vice versa. So that's the first thing I would say, and then obviously if you really, really feel like you don't like that lighting, then you're just gonna have to move that desk so that you can be right in front of the window, Yeah. Personally, I really don't like shooting with natural light for what we do, because a lot of our filming will span an entire day, and especially in the winter here, and I'm sure you're in Seattle?
Portland.
Portland. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Like winter, we get shorter days, right? And so it's tough when you start recording and then a few hours later it's dark, or a storm comes in and the light changes. So personally, I don't like that. So we do controlled lighting, but I would say the next option, especially if you want something small, would probably be a ring light.
I have one. But,
okay.
I have one back in France.
Oh.
Because I had to leave it. That's the dumb thing.
How long?
I moved back and forth.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Got it.
So I had to leave it at my parents'.
Yeah.
and they're coming, but in May. So until May, I don't have it.
Oh, that's not too bad though.
No, it's getting there finally.
Yeah. And do you like the lighting of that? Do you feel like it's good?
It's okay, but
Yeah.
I guess when I was using it, it was kind of the same situation where I had the window on one side, but it was like a way wider window.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like using the ring light and that window because
Sure.
my background was really dark and I don't know. Maybe I was not using it. Like, I could have used it better. Probably. But
I mean, I always feel that way with all of our gear. Yeah, okay. So that's what I would say for lighting is if you can just hold out until until your ring light gets there. But I mean, unless you don't really like the light, but I feel like once you get away from a ring light, lighting definitely starts getting bulkier. Like we have this, which is only 2 feet wide, but because it's a more expensive fixture, we have it on like a nicer, bigger tripod, which just has a big footprint in general, right? So it's like, I don't know, I'd say it's probably like there's a good 3x4 or 4x4 foot square that's kind of just all of that, you know, the monitor.
Yeah, the stuff from your vlogs, like between.
Oh yeah. And this is like the third time. We haven't even lived in this apartment for a year, and this is the third time that we've completely moved everything around because we're constantly trying to find like what's the most efficient for the space, what looks the best, where's the best sound, right? Because like this room is pretty bouncy and echoey, and we haven't quite done a great job of like dampening that. But actually, so this might be a helpful tip. One thing we have done is we bought a bunch of these on Amazon. It's just like cheap foam stuff, and then I glued them to cardboard. But then also what we've done is we've put them like under the desk or on top of the desk, so that when Tashina sets things down, it's not like, you know, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, because I've had that issue. Like even taking my brushes out of the little container that I store them in, it's so loud.
Yeah, they're clanking around.
Yeah.
For sure. And then as far as a mic goes, I like Rode mics. It's an Australian company. It's what this one is. Yeah. And I think that their Video Mic Pro is like maybe $250. So do you already have a mic or no? You're just using...
No, not at all.
Okay. So the thing about this mic though is it's meant to be put on top of your camera. And so a lot of YouTubers use it that way, but the problem is they use it that way and then they put the camera really far away from them. And then so they're like yelling, first of all. They're yelling and the audio is not very good because it's so far away and they're in this bouncy room. So what we have done, and this has drastically improved our audio quality, is we have the mic mounted to a mic stand, and then we have a cable running into the camera. So it's still running into the camera, so you don't have to sync the audio later, because that's what we.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because that's one thing that would like scare me a little bit about using a mic. Is having like a different audio file that I have to sync perfectly.
What software are you editing in?
Final Cut. Yeah, Final Cut.
Okay. So I don't know Final Cut, but I assume there's probably an automatic syncing option.
Okay.
So I would maybe see if you can find a tutorial on that, because I edit in Premiere, but I know there is an auto thing, and it might not get it perfect, but then you can go in and move it a little bit more. But anyway, I don't know why I'm even talking about that, because with what I'm suggesting, you won't need to do that.
Okay,
as long as you're... What camera do you have?
Wait. I don't want to say something wrong. G7i.
Oh, okay, yeah. that's what we were shooting with before we switched over to these. So that camera has a mic port, so you can plug the cable in, and then you can just get like a $15 mic stand. I can send you a link to one of them.
Yeah.
And you might need to get some adapters to be able to screw it in properly, but they're like a few bucks on Amazon. And that way you can have, basically have your mic as close to you as you can. We have it on this like swivel head thing here, so I can easily move it around however I want. But it's really not necessary. It's just because, Tashina and I share the space, and it's just easy to be able to move it around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the mic I would suggest. But honestly, it's like, I feel like as long as your content is good enough, people will forgive so many aspects of it not being perfect. And if I know too that there are a lot of mics that other people like just as much as a Rode mic that are probably cheaper. There are definitely like some decent sounding podcast mics that you could hook up and record into something else. That would probably leave you with in the scenario of having to sync the files, because at least the ones I know of, I don't know that they have the correct like cable to go into a camera. But
Okay.
the ones I'm thinking of
Kind
at
of
least.
looking online before the call.
Yeah.
I googled like best microphone for YouTube.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they have a bunch. I think it was like Yeti. Was one brand that came up on several sites.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, they're like standing.
Yeah.
Like on the desk. I
Right.
guess I don't know if there's any other way to mount them, but that's how they look like on the pictures.
Yeah. I
had no clue if you could connect it to the camera or not. It doesn't really. I mean, I didn't look.
Yeah.
But
I think I know the Yeti mic that you're talking about, and the issue that we've had with having a mic sitting on the table is that in order to have good sound, it kind of has to be right there. And then it can either be an issue that it's in the shot, or it can be an issue that you're like grabbing things and moving around and you have all this other noise, all this other movement. Like, having it off of the table is nice, because if you bump the table or if you drop something, you're not dropping it right onto your microphone.
Yeah, and I would most likely do that at least at one point in every video. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think those would be my suggestions. Did you have any questions about the space specifically? I just don't remember exactly what we talked about when we first were talking about this.
I wanted to know like all the tips you could give me and like what you thought would be good or not good, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I might think something might work, but since you guys have been doing that for a lot longer and better quality overall,
Yeah.
You might know from like trial and error what works and what doesn't. And
I would say the most, I think the best piece of advice I could give, honestly, would just be to just do it regardless. But also, there are definitely less expensive options. Like, there's the Rode Video Mic Go, which I want to say is maybe like 50 or even $100 less. And it can still be mounted the same way. And I haven't used it, but my guess would be that the audio is probably very comparable, especially when the mic is this close to you. Like, if I had more money, or if we were going to buy another mic, Rode does make shotgun mics that are not meant, like they weren't created to be mounted to a camera, and I would probably go with one of those mics instead. I think they're like the NTG series or something like that. But basically they're just shotgun mics from Rode that you can find on their site. Yeah.
There's even, I'm on Amazon right now, and Video Might Go, they have a studio boom kit, and it comes with a stand, so maybe that. And
nice.
Cable.
Nice.
So I don't know.
I would say with Rode mics specifically.
That's what it is.
Oh, nice. Oh, DVE store. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was going to suggest that you make sure that you're buying it from an authorized dealer, because Rode has a lot of like issues with counterfeit products being sold on Amazon. But their website should say, and I'm pretty sure DVE store is one of their authorized dealers, because they're like a legit store. Like, it's not some random person. And we bought this one in 2014 or 2015, and it's finally starting to have some issues, but I also like
that from one of your vlogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know things.
But I also kind of abuse our gear. Like anyway, I'm not gentle with a lot of the gear that we have, so I'm not really surprised that it would have issues. It's probably more about me and how I use it than the actual microphone.
Okay, well 5 years is still.
Yeah, it's a good good amount of time. Especially when you think of how many videos we've done, I'm sure cost per use at this point is probably just a few dollars, if that. The other thing I would suggest would be to do a custom white balance. The only thing with that is that it can be a little bit tricky with natural light, because it's always going to look different. So actually, let me take that back. If you're using natural light, it probably is better for your situation if you're just doing auto white balance. But I would say that one thing we've seen a lot of people have issues with is that their white balance is off and they can't seem to figure it out, and they're changing all this lighting and doing all these different things, but they're not doing a custom white balance. And I actually think that it sounds weird to say, but I feel like the custom white balance in the T7i, I kind of liked it better than in the GH5. I feel like the GH5 doesn't always quite get it right. And that Canon camera that you have does a pretty good job. And you can get a white balance card for like $8 on Amazon. I can send you a link to the one we have. But again, it might not, I don't know how much of a difference it's really going to make if you're shooting in natural light anyway, because it's always going to be changing.
Yeah, because I know that once I had tried, like I saw like a video on YouTube, to like settings and whatnot, to try and improve, and I did what the guy said, and I looked dead on camera, but it was probably because I was using natural light, so it would always change. So I looked like gray and pale and weird.
Yeah.
So I switched back to the auto one because I didn't like what I looked like.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even in Final Cut, I had to try and fix it, but it still looked weird. Like you could tell that it had been changed in post, so
yeah,
it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of having to do as few corrections as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do any audio editing of our videos at all, like none. I don't do really any color grading. I have a preset that I created that I use, that I drop on all of our videos, because I feel like it makes everything look more like how it looks in real life. But that's literally, since I created, I just drag it and drop it, And again, since all of our lighting and everything is exactly the same every time, I never have to worry about it. But yeah, I pretty much try to do as little editing as possible with Tashina's videos, because we try to get more out all the time, not, make them perfect and take forever.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, so.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And since we're talking about lights again, I saw that, kit, I don't know if you've ever used or seen lights like that, but like LED lights, but they're, flat panels, because I feel like those were not too bulky, and also I liked the price because it was like $90. But I don't know if you know anything about these types of LED lights, or...
I've never I shouldn't say I've never shot with LED lights. I have shot with LED lights. I've never shot stuff with Tashina with LED lights. And I think it's going to really, really depend on the light itself. So I would, have you did you look up reviews of those lights, or you said you just found them?
I found them somewhat recently, but it has 4.5 stars. I mean, there's only 76 ratings, but...
I mean, if it were me, I would see if you can find reviews of them on YouTube where people are actually doing lighting tests, and then it's Amazon, so buy them, and if they suck, just return them.
I always forget that I can always do that.
Yeah. Amazon's good for that kind of thing. I haven't used them, but it'd be worth a try, No reason not to give it a shot.
Yeah, no. Check on YouTube. I don't know why I didn't think about doing that, but I'll check on YouTube.
Yeah, I pretty much always, anytime I need to know about a product, I just go straight to YouTube, no matter what it is. Maybe it's just because I'm such a visual person. I want, you know what I mean? I want to see somebody holding it and talking about it.
Yeah. Riley, what's up? Excuse me. My dog is... What? Making weird noises in the hall, which is fine.
Animals. They're crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that kind of covers it as far as tips I could give you. I'm definitely more than happy, the next time you post a video where you feel like you've got everything really dialed in, if you want to send me a link, I can take a look and tell you what I think, what if there are any adjustments I might make. But yeah, did you have any other questions?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
Might bug you later, send you a message or something. But
yeah, sure.
For now, I think I'm good.
Totally. I love talking about this stuff, so I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, it was very nice of you to say yes, pretty much right away when I asked you. I'm like, oh, do you mind? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's always what I want to talk about. Nobody ever wants to talk about it with me, so I was excited.
Good to know.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Thanks again for the tips and for your time and for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
And also thank you for being such a big supporter of Logical Harmony for so long and of the vlog channel. We appreciate it.
Just really Tashina camera. I don't know. You're really I feel like I'm watching a friend or something. You have that vibe that you're really relatable, and I don't know.
Thank you.
I just like watching your videos.
That's good because she's actually really mean in real life.
I doubt it. And from your vlogs, it's also nice to see you, Justin, because I've always known that you were behind the scenes and sharing everything. That's pretty cool too.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Have a good day. And
you too.
keep me posted on everything.
Okay, I will.
All right, bye.
Bye.